this is Loren Adams, and today I want to talk about creative visualization into manifestation. And since my life is based in this phenomenon, these are all my own original mechanical drawings and illustrations depicting the upcoming permanent home of the Loren Adams Collection, the Loren Adams Museum of Fine Art. I've been believing in this dream now for over 20 years, but time isn't really an important factor. 57 years ago, after my first museum exhibition, I followed my intuition. I quit my day job and nursing school because I had this dream and the belief in myself to follow it without ever looking back. Now, confronting this dream with reality, this is one building that I've been focusing on. And right now, there are 100 billion buildings in the world. And it's probably safe to guess that over 99% of them were made from either blueprints, mechanical drawings, or at least scribbled on a napkin before they were actually built, right? Architects might go to the trouble of actually having three-dimensional models. In fact, most of them do before they put up major buildings. I'm at the very least come up with a sufficient visual as my elevator pitch in the event somebody wants to help me with this dream, but that's not why I'm doing it either. At 78 years old, I'm rather more interested in inspiring others to not give up on their dreams, because I see that eventually mine is going to come true. Otherwise, the thought wouldn't have come into my mind in the first place. In this new age or paradigm where we're not as constrained by belief systems, it's like we're free to follow our wildest dreams. And by the way, when I was doing my studies at the American Public University in entrepreneurship, the entrepreneur's motto is, if you don't dream big, nothing will damn for sure happen. So what you want to do is don't limit your dreams. Dream as big and phantasmagorical as you can. Dream, but keep it real as you can too. For instance, I did my research. Seascapes, by some people's way of thinking, is a good racket. But that's because there's over 8 million miles of shoreline. There's over 5,500 little villages and towns and cities on the coastline. And over 80% of the population lives within 50 miles of a coastline. So, there is this emotional attachment to the waves or seascapes. Yeah, because painting the sea, in my particular case, involved me mastering the ocean and tempest within myself. Some say I'm the greatest seascape artist that's ever lived. Personally, I know several that I admire as much as I do my own. But, see, I'm a visionary too, so as soon as I started adding intellectual content to my waves flapping up on the beach, it took on a new dimension. And then when I started adding in education and what people are looking for and what makes people tick, I knew I was on the right path. Now, when I look back at my 78-year legacy, I've probably produced, sold, distributed, and exported throughout the world over 4,000 works of art. My sweet wife Patty and I have kept over 130 originals now since we've been married for the last 40 years for the permanent collection. And we love a lot of my paintings more than we even like money. So if anybody really wants one, we're reluctant to part with them. And they at least have to prove to us that they love them and would take as good a care of them as we do. They are my children. Every artist has the responsibility of loving, treasuring, and highly valuing their own work. If the creator of that work does not value and treasure and respect their own work, how in the world could they possibly expect anyone else to? The simple truth is that the public is only going to have as much respect and value and treasure the art as much as the artist who made it did. This is the simple reason why I don't actually solicit the sale of my originals. If somebody wants them, they gotta want it more than I do. The artist has to be able to command the silence. The artist has to be able to command the respect, and that can only be done by behavior. And after many, many years of belief on the action plane of consciousness, the fruit starts falling from the trees. It's highly successful, of course. And you got to be ready for that. The artist has to be ready to accept total success and recognition. Everything you expect has to be in your mind. It has to be part of the goal ultimately. And in order for it to work, it has to be about helping other people, not just to make a lot of money so you can buy more toys. So the new paradigm is here now, and we all have new tasks ahead of us, especially those of us who are making art and music. With the God as myth proclamation and that argument and unsettled social polarization factors all over the place, believers throughout the world are now asking themselves, when, what, where, how, why, and who? What do I believe? Followed by, so what, now what, then what, and when? Most especially when. In the light of day, people everywhere need something to believe in. Believe in yourself. Grab your bull and your dream by the horns. Bloom where you stand. Bloom where you stand. Whatever your beliefs were while you were developing into a person you now love and respect, be that and just be happy. Be happy for who you are. Take the ethics and the moral values that you value personally and move on. Take the best and leave the rest. After all, it was just part of what built you into somebody you love. No sense in blaming the underpaid teachers who apparently taught you what you're having problems with. See, the real issue is that you don't need anybody. The ball is in your court. It's your turn. Please rise and shine. You've been born in my mind in the first place. And now I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. Sincerely, Loren Adams.